Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Hunter and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be diving back into our SD-WAN lab project and getting into the basics of pushing templates to our edge devices utilizing our vManage. So this video in particular is going to be focused on the more basic templates that need to be applied as a foundation, and a lot of this stuff is going to be things that we have already configured on the devices with the CLI, but you actually have to reconfigure that within the templates, because when you push a template, if you leave everything as default, it's going to push the factory default settings to the devices. So I know it sounds a little bit repetitive, but this is kind of the way that it has to be done. We actually have to set up the VPN 0 again, VPN 512, the interfaces themselves, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and dive on into it. All right, so in our last video, we left off at us getting all these certificates validated, installed on the devices. We got them all in sync with the vManage. So as you can see here, we're still there. We have our 4 vEdge clouds and our 1 CSR 1000V. They're all ready to rock and roll, so we can get into the configuring the templates here. So on the left, you can go to configuration and then we'll go to templates. So it's going to immediately bring you to the device template screen, but we actually have to configure feature templates that are then going to be utilized to create a device specific template. And this will all make sense here in a few minutes. So we'll click on feature in the top left and we'll add a template. Now we're going to have to create different templates for the different devices. So we have our vEdge cloud devices and we have the CSR. So we'll start with the vEdge cloud. So we're going to actually make a system template first, and this is going to be the basic system information that we configured in the CLI. So the naming standard we're going to use, I'm going to follow a Kawar Butt's naming standard. I actually went through a course with Kawar Butt on SD-WAN, and his naming standard was fantastic. It makes it super easy to make changes in the future, to organize it. And so we're going to do VE for vEdge, which is the device type, and then we're going to type system. So you have to have something in the template name and the template description, or else it'll give you an error. Now, when you come down here to the different basic configurations, you can see this icon here. This is device specific, right? And this identifier here is what we're going to see when we go to push these templates to the devices. It's going to make us set a value, right? If it's device specific, it's going to ask for the value for each device that we're applying this template to. So this is easy to understand and read. Some of them are a little bit more difficult. We'll have to change these, but I know what a system site ID is. All of our different devices are going to have different site IDs, okay? So we're going to leave that as device specific. Same thing with the system IP. That's also going to be device specific, and I can definitely tell what this is when I go to edit the template before I apply it. I know that the system IP is obviously the system IP. The time zone, we're going to make this universal here. We're going to change this so we can do globally. That means it's going to apply to all the devices. We're not going to specify anything specific for the devices. It's going to apply to everybody. And I'm going to do America, New York. So let me see if I can find it here. America, New York. Host name, again, device specific. Keep that as is. The console rate, we're going to make that default. And then everything else can stay at default. We can click save. All right. So we have the system template created. Now we're going to create a basic AAA template. And this is going to allow us to set up our username, local username and password. So we already set that up. We changed it. It made us change it from the default when we first logged in with the CLI. However, if we don't specify one here, it's going to push the factory default to the device, which is just admin. And obviously that's a security risk. We definitely don't want to, ideally you would use Radius or TACACS, but we definitely don't want to keep it at admin. So we're going to give this one a name. We're going to give this VEAA. All right. And then we have the authentication order. This is fine. This can stay the same. We're not going to set up Radius or TACACS just yet, but we can leave this as local first. However, we're going to change this user. So we're going to change admin. So by default, his password is already set to admin, but we're going to change that to Cisco 123, which is what we set before. Again, not a secure password, but just for the sake of the video and to demonstrate here, we're going to do Cisco 123, and then everything else can stay the same. We can click save. So now we have a username and a system template created. Okay, now we can actually also add a banner. So let's go to vEdge Cloud again, and we can go down here to banner, and this is the message of the day, or the welcome banner, login banners that you guys typically see in Cisco devices. So we can do VE banner. The login banner, we can make this globally. They're going to stay the same. Login is going to be authorized personnel only. And then the message of the day can be like, welcome. Click save. That's how you apply a banner to the device. So now we have those fundamental, baseline templates done. Now we're going to get a little more specific here. So we're going to have to make VPN 0's template, right? Because if it pushes the defaults, it's not going to be consistent with getting us reachability to our vManage, and it's going to cause some issues. So we'll go to vEdge Cloud, and then we're going to do VPN. So this is where we're going to create our actual VPN 0 configuration. So the naming standard for this is where it gets a little bit different. So as you guys know, all three of these vEdge cloud devices have a lot of common characteristics. They're using the same interfaces for the MPLS link, they're using the same interfaces for the ISP link, and they're using the same interfaces for VPN 512. They have a lot of commonalities, whereas the vEdge up here does not. He has one interface going to over a link to Site 1's WAN router. So he's going to have some differences. We're going to make a separate branch versus headquarters vEdge template here for VPN 0, VPN 512, so on and so forth. So to do the naming standard, we'll do VEBR for branch, do VPN, VPN 0. All right, that's how we're going to name this. So VPN name is going to be globally, and it's going to be 0. The name, we can actually just name this to transport. So our transport VPN. And then we can actually leave all of this stuff as default for now. We do need to add an IPv4 route. So we'll click here and add new route, and that's going to be the static route that we set in the CLI before. So a lot of this stuff isn't too exciting here, but it's what has to get done. So this can be global. The prefix, a default route, is going to be global, but the next hop is going to be device specific, because if we look at our topology here, you can see that each one of these devices has a separate /24 network that's going between all the different links. So we actually need to set this to device specific, and we can do VPN 0 next hop. And this key is going to be my identifier. So when I go to configure this, I know VPN 0's next hop. I know what that's going to be. And I can actually get even more specific and say MPLS next hop. All right, and click add. And you have to click add over here before you click save, or else it's not actually going to take. So you definitely want to see it populate here before you try to click save. Okay, and then all of this stuff can stay the same. All right, everything else can stay at default. We can click save. Now we'll move on to the VPN interface. Okay, so we have a VPN created. We need to actually create an interface and assign it to that VPN. So we're going to go over here to VPN interface Ethernet, and this is where we're going to configure our gig00 interfaces. So we'll do VEBR VPN VPN 0 interface gig0. This is the way I like to name it. You guys can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be this name, obviously. I just found this super easy to sort, and you guys will see once we have tons of feature templates in the next few videos, you'll be able to see why I do it like this. So by default, obviously, it's shut down. We definitely want to do no globally. Interface name, this is actually the name of the interface, so we'll do gig00, and we can give it a description. We can say to MPLS. We can set a static IP address on it. We definitely want it to be device specific. So we're going to change that name though. We're going to say VPN 0 G0 IP address. Okay. And then tunnel interface. It is going to be a tunnel interface. So we're going to turn it globally on. And this is where we're going to be able to specify a color. We'll be able to allow services, so on and so forth. For now, we'll leave the color at default. Actually, we'll change this. We'll go ahead and change this to color MPLS. We'll just get out of the way now so we don't have to worry about it later on. So MPLS is the color. And then allow service all on. And then you guessed it, allow service netconf and allow service SSH. All right. And there's some additional advanced options here. So as you guys know, we had to set tunnel encapsulation IPsec in the CLI. Well, by default, it is an IPsec. So with these templates, we don't have to actually manually specify that here. And then we can leave everything else as default here and click save. So now we have VPN 0 set up. We have the static route within VPN 0 for the default route going to our next hop. And we have the VPN 0 interface gig0 set up. Okay. Now we need to think about VPN 512. Start setting this guy up. So same situation, same process, vEdge Cloud, VPN interface. VPN. We'll name this VEBR VPN VPN 512. And we'll do the same thing for the description. The VPN number is going to be global. We're going to do 512. The name, we'll give it a name. We'll call it out-of-band management. And then we are going to actually add that IPv4 routes. It's going to be a default route again for VPN 512, the management traffic. And the next hop is going to be the same because in my out-of-band management network, they're all on 1/24. Okay? And they all share the same default gateway because they're actually getting pushed to my router here at the house. So they're all going to .1. So we can make this globally, the next hop, and do 10.10.10.1. Click add. And you can add multiple next hops as well. As you guys can see, there's a lot of flexibility with this. I do definitely recommend you guys play around and mess with different things and see what you can do and what you can't do. Okay, so we can leave all the rest of it default and click save. And now you guessed it, we got to add a interface to that VPN because right now it doesn't have one. So we'll go back to VPN interface. I'll give it the same naming standard, VEBR, VPN, VPN 512, interface, ETH0. Shutdown is definitely going to be a no. Interface name, ETH0, which is what we're using here. Description, we can give it a description. Out-of-band management. IP address is going to be static and it's going to be a default. So we'll do VPN 512, ETH0, IP address. And you guys will see where these are referenced here in the near future. So, and everything else can stay as default here because this is VPN 512. It doesn't need to allow services. It doesn't need all that good stuff. Okay. So now that we have that created, we could actually technically push these to the devices now. But we got to set up our HQ site as well. So right now we have these 3 devices are done with the basic templating. We're going to provide reachability. We're going to have pretty much the same configurations that we already have on the devices through CLI with templates, which is what we need to actually build off of, add our routing protocols and other service VPNs, so on and so forth. So we'll actually focus on the headquarters site now. So we can apply that system template and the AAA template to our headquarters and branch sites. That's why I didn't specify HQ or branch in the names of those, but this is where it becomes more specific when you start getting to the VPNs, the routes, the VPN interfaces, so on and so forth. So now we're going to do the VPN 0 for the headquarters vEdge router. So VEHQ, VPN, VPN 0. Again, VPN 0 for the. All right, so for the name, we're just going to do transport again because it's our transport VPN. It's all going to be the exact same just about for VPN 0. So IPv4 routes, do the default routes for now. Next hop is going to be 10, I think it's 10.1.1.1. Yes, it is. This is going to be global because we only have one device there, so I don't have to do device specific with this. Add the default routes. Everything else can stay as it is. Okay. We'll click save. Now we need to assign the interface to that VPN. So we'll do vEdge Cloud again. VPN interface. We'll do VEHQ, VPN, VPN 0, interface. And I think it's G0 as well, G0. And then we'll just do the same thing for the description. Shutdown is going to be globally set to no. Interface name is GE00. Description, we'll say transport. And then we will add an IP address to that. We can actually give this again globally because we have only one device there. In a normal scenario, you would probably want to have it set to device specific, but for the sake of the video, we just have one device. So tunnel interface, we're going to turn it on. Color is going to be, we'll leave this at default for the transport. Actually, we're going to set this to MPLS for this interface, or OSPF. So for color, we're going to set this to default. Leave everything alone. Let's see here. Allow service, we're going to do on. Allow service netconf on. And allow service SSH on. And we're actually going to make this color, we're going to make this MPLS. We'll leave it at default. So we'll leave color defaults. We will turn allow service all on, netconf on, and SSH on. And as we know, IPsec is already the default encapsulation, so we'll leave that as default, and we can click save. All right, so now we'll work on VPN 512. I know this is getting repetitive, but this is kind of the way the templates work. These are kind of give us the foundation here. It's going to be a lot more interesting in the future when we actually build off of these, but for now we have to get these basic configurations done. I definitely didn't want to keep you guys from seeing this process. So vEdge, headquarters, VPN, VPN 512. VPN number is going to be 512. The name is going to be out-of-band management. And we will put a default route to the same address. So 000/0. Next hop will be 10.10.10.1. Add. Everything else can stay at default. And then we'll assign an interface to that. So we will give VPN 512's interface, which I think on the headquarters device we're using G03. So VE for vEdge, HQ, VPN 512, interface G3. Shutdown no, interface name GE03. Description is going to be out-of-band management. IP address, I can give this one globally because again I'm pushing it to one device, 10.10.10.56/24. We can leave everything else as default here. Click save. And we are good. So now we have, if we sort this here, we can see very clean, like we have the VPN 0 VPN template. We have the VPN 0 interface, VPN 512, VPN 512 interface, and then we get down to the headquarters. That's kind of the way that that's why I format it the way that I did, and that's why CoreBut does it as well, because when you go to sort, you don't have a mixture of a bunch of different templates here. You can easily see you'll have your VPN 0 stuff all in a row. You'll have your VPN 12 stuff all in a row. So that's kind of the way that we look at it and the way he does it and the way that it makes sense to me to do this. So now we have all of our vEdge templates created. Now we can move on to creating our single cloud edge device. So we can do CSR 1000V, and we can do a AAA template Cisco. And then we'll do CE branch AAA. We'll actually just do CEAA here because it's going to be the same on any that we have here. So we're going to change the password here to Cisco 123. And this is where you can set privilege 1, privilege 15. You're going to see a little bit more Cisco dependent configurations here as it's a Cisco device. So I'm missing a field here. What am I missing? Server groups priority. Where is that? Oh, authentication priority order. So we'll just do local. That's the only option we have right now. Add another template, and this is where we're going to start working on these system templates. So we'll do CSR 1000V. We will actually do the system configuration. So CE system. Site ID, we can leave this all as default. We're going to change the time zone though to America, New York. Make sure this is linked up with everybody else, so that the certificate process is going to remain good. If I can find New York. Host name can stay. Console rate, let's leave it at default. And everything else can stay at default. Now we'll go into the actual VPN itself. So we'll go to VPN. We're going to do VPN 0 first. Get our transport set up. So we'll go to CE, branch, VPN 0. VPN 0, the name is going to be transports. And the IP routes we need to set here, default routes. Going to a next hop. And again, we'll leave this as device specific because we only have one CSR right now, but maybe in the future we want to add more. I don't have to go back and redo these. So we'll do VPN 0, next hop, MPLS. Because we're going to have two next hops eventually, but for now we just have MPLS. We're using MPLS as the primary to get everything set up. And we'll click save. All right. Now we'll add the interface to that VPN. So we'll do CE, branch, VPN 0, interface. And we're using interface gig 1, so G1, for our initial link up here. We'll go to global, no shutdown, interface name, gigabits, Ethernet 1. Description to MPLS. Static IP, it's going to be device specific. We'll do VPN 0, int gig 1, IP address. It's going to be a tunnel interface. Color, we'll just make it MPLS here. Globally, MPLS. And we will make sure that allow service all is on, allow service netconf is on, and allow service SSH is on. Everything else can stay at default, and we can click save. Now we'll work on our VPN 512 VPN itself. So again, I know this is pretty repetitive, but these are the initial steps. Stuff gets a lot cooler. The further along you get, once you get all this initial configuration out of the way, it becomes pretty cool to mess around with some of these templates and really see what you're capable of doing. So we're working on VPN 512 right now, so we know the default route for that is going to 10.10.10.1. And this can remain as a global because everybody's on the same management network. And everything else can stay the same. We can click save. And then we're just going to give that guy an interface. So CSR, do interface Ethernet, and we will set up our VPN 512 interface. So VPN 512 interface, and I think it's using gig 5. So G5, no shut, interface name, gigabit Ethernet 5, description, out of band management, IP device specific, we'll do VPN 512 int gig 5 IP address. And we can leave everything else as default. Click save. All right, so the only thing we haven't configured for the cEdge that we configured for the vEdges were the banner, which I'm not too concerned with right now. So now let's go ahead and let's combine these templates into these feature templates into a device template. So we're going to create a device template here from feature template. Device model, so this is where you actually have to select the model. So create from feature template. Device model, we're going to do the vEdge cloud first. Template name, we can just do VE branch template, because this is our branch devices we're going to work with first here. So this is where we can kind of choose, and as you can see, there's factory default templates here that it's going to assign by default if you don't actually specify. So we created that system template. We can choose that. We don't have a logging template built. We do have a AAA template though, and the rest of these again are going to stay at default because we don't have them set up. VPN 0, so this is where we can kind of specify the vEdge branch because what we're starting with. And then the VPN interface for VPN 0 is right here. It's kind of, like I said, the naming standard really makes a big difference here when you're actually adding these to the devices. So VPN 512, we're going to add a VPN interface, the branch VPN 512 interface. We don't have service VPNs yet, we will here soon. vEdge banner for our banner. And now we're done. So we have our AAA, our system, our VPN 512, VPN 0, and the banner set up. So we can click create. So now that's created. So we can actually attach devices to this now. So it says right now 0 devices are attached. And we go here, we can do attach devices. So we can choose our devices that we want to attach to this template. So we're not attaching site 1 and we're not attaching site 5. It doesn't even give us the option for site 5 because it's not a vEdge cloud device. So it will pop up under the CSR templates. So we're going to choose sites 2, 3, and 4. Add them over and click attach. It's going to take us to the next page. It's kind of like the preset page. So as you can see here, we're missing a bunch of values. We're missing all these different values. Those are the little codes that we set up, the identifiers that we're going to have to fill in here before it actually pushes. So we're going to start out, let's just sort with site 2. So we're going to do edit device template, and it wants our VPN 512 Ethernet 0 IP address first. So we can look here for site 2, it's 10.10.10.57. You have to make sure you put the subnet mask in here as well. And then we have VPN 0 MPLS next hop. I already know what this is. The next hop is 192.168.2.254 for site 2. VPN 0 IP address is 192.168.2.2/24. Because I'm identifying the interface IP address, I have to put this, the slash notation. If I'm just identifying a next hop, I do not. The system host name is going to be site 2 vEdge R1. System IP was 100.2.2.2, and the site ID is 2. Click update. We'll do the same thing for site 3's vEdge. So the IP address is going to be 10.10.10.58, I believe. Let me just double check here. It is /24. VPN 0's MPLS next hop is 192.168.3.254. VPN 0's IP is 192.168.3.3/24. Hostname, site 3, vEdge R1, system IP, and the site ID is 3. Click update. And do the same thing again for site 4, 10.10.10.59/24. 192.168.4.254, 192.168.4.4/24, hostname site4 vEdge R1, system IP 100.4.4.4, and site ID is 4. Click update, and now we can click next. And it says configure action will be applied to 3 devices attached to 1 device template. We can click configure devices here, confirm the configuration, and it's going to bring us to our task panel again so we can actually see what's happening. We can refresh and see that these devices are actually in the process of getting their templates pushed. So I'm going to let that go through its processes here, and then we'll resume the video whenever it is complete. All right, so it was successful for all 3 of these device templates. Pushed to all the devices. We can see here that it's successfully pushed. We're good to go. Now we can actually set up the templates for we can verify that if we log into one of these sites here. So I'm on my CLI here. I hit enter one time, and I can see that I now have a logon message. So it says authorized personnel only. I'll use my passwords here, and it says welcome. So I know the banner is set up. Should run VPN 0. We can see that it's set up. It has a name. Everything's great. Worked out just as we wanted. So now we can push our device to our headquarters. We can set up our headquarters template. So go to create from feature template, device model, same thing, vEdge cloud. We'll do VE headquarters template. And we'll set the same stuff up, but with the headquarters specific configuration feature templates. So headquarters VPN 0, headquarters VPN 0 interface, and so on and so forth. And we'll just go through here, setting up all of our stuff. Our banner is going to be the same, and we can click create. And it's going to have us attach a device to it. We're going to attach our site 1 device. So we can click here, attach devices, site 1, move it over. And then we're going to edit those values. So didn't actually add our... Oh, we left a lot of the variables as globally because there's only 1. I was a little confused there. Site 1, vEdge, R1 for the host name, 100.1.1.1, site ID is 1. So remember, guys, we left all those values as globally, so it's not going to prompt us for them. It's not going to ask for them because there's only 1 headquarters edge device at site 1. We'll click configure, and it's going to start pushing the template to that next device. So while it's doing that, we're going to go back to our templates, and we're actually going to create our cloud cEdge CSR template. So we can choose up here, we can do CSR 1000V, template name CE branch template, and we'll set up all of our same values here. So it's actually not giving us the template here for the AAA that we created, which is a little confusing. AAA Cisco is what we created. So CE AAA, and then VPN 0, the interface for VPN 0, VPN 512, add the interface, and then the VPN 512. And we didn't create a banner, which is fine. Click create. And then again, we'll attach our 1 CSR that we have up on the network to that, which is going to be, whoops, click on this one, attach devices. It's going to be Site 5 cEdge R1. We'll fill in our values here that we have to fill in. So the VPN 512 address is going to be 10.10.10.60. So 10.10.10.60, it's a /24. VPN 0 next hop is going to be 192.168.5.254. VPN 0 interface 5.5/24. Hostname Site 5 cEdge R1 100.2.5.5.5 and Site 5. Click updates. Click next. It's going to ask us if we want to confirm that we want to configure those devices, and it's going to start the process of pushing the templates to these devices as well. And we can go over to our headquarters edge device here and see if it actually is finished yet. I don't think it has. So let's see, where's our tasks at? Let's see if this actually took the template. So no devices have been attached to this vEdge cloud. We actually go to our task view. So it's pushing the feature template. So it must have failed pushing to the Site 1 headquarters edge device. So we can actually go here again and reattach that, see what actually happened. The one time I didn't watch the status message, of course. Go figure. So we'll do site 1, vEdge R1, site 1, updates, next, figure. Okay, so it completed, so it did fail here. We can actually see why it failed. It says, cannot delete Ethernet 0 interface from management VPN 512. Interesting. So I guess I'm going to have to set VPN 0's interface inside of that template as well. In order to actually make this happen the way we want it to. So let's go ahead and edit that. So let's just edit this template here. And we'll add interface. This is the headquarters. We'll add a VPN interface. And we will do VPN, let's do factory default. And click updates. And see if that will actually remove it from the device itself. So we'll attach a device to this, do site 1. I don't remember running into this issue the last time I pushed this to the device, but we'll see. So interface name, we'll do eth0. Host name is going to be site 1, vEdge R1. Site ID is 1. We'll see. There may be an IP conflict there because I have it set up for DHCP, and it's going to pull it from my router here. So this thing might fail again. I might actually have to pause and figure out what's going on here and come back to you guys. So yeah, let me let this go through, and then I'll let you guys know what's going on. All right, guys, so the template did take once we added Ethernet 0 in there. It needs to be in there, I guess, for vEdge cloud devices. I was trying to make it different and use a different interface for the headquarters than I was using at the branch sites. You can add more interfaces to VPN 512, but I guess the best move would be, if you don't want to use Ethernet 0, is to just create the interface, VPN interface template, and then just shut it down. But as you guys can see, though, we have devices attached. We have one device attached to the headquarters, one device attached to the C edge, and then 3 devices to our VE branch templates. So these are the basic system. VPN 0, VPN 512 gave us reachability, login access, banners, so on and so forth. In the next video, we're actually going to set up OSPF. We're going to set up BGP. We're going to do some redistribution. And we're going to actually set up our service VPNs as well. So there's a lot of good stuff coming. And we're actually going to do the equal cost load balancing across the multiple links, simulate the traffic flows, and see really the full capabilities of SD-WAN as we move forward. So these first videos are going to be all about getting it set up, getting it ready to roll, and then we'll actually be able to experiment and mess around. So I hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Help those that want to learn SD-WAN find this video, and I will see you guys soon for the next installment of this series. So I hope you guys have a great day.